everyone, I decided to film outside today and the nice backdrop I found was a brick wall. So today I'm going to be filming about becoming vegetarian because in my last video I said that I was going to do that. So I don't want to be one of those vegetarians that kind of pushes it in your face and says you need to be a vegetarian or you're a bad person or you're gonna die soon. Like, that is not who I am and that is not how I want to come across. So before I get into the video, I just want to say that that's not my intention. It's just kind of like me explaining how I became vegetarian, why I became vegetarian, and my experience with it. Sorry, my brother's coming home and he is very loud exhaust. I don't know if you can hear that. I've been vegetarian now for about 3 or 4 months. So for me, the reason I became vegetarian is because ever since I was a young girl, I'd always feel bad for eating animals, and I felt like that it just wasn't really my place to decide whether that animal got to die or not. And it's not really, it wasn't me who's making it die, but I was contributing to the business that decided on that animal being killed and eaten. So for me, I just think that I just felt really bad. And then when I was a teenager, I was always like, oh, I'd love to be vegetarian, but I like chicken too much, or I like fish too much. Like, I could never be a vegetarian. I just couldn't live without eating those foods. And then I met my best friend, and he was a vegetarian, and so I hung out with him a lot. I got to know his lifestyle and the meals that he was able to eat by being a vegetarian, which I thought that there wasn't a huge range of meals that you could eat. He was able to eat a lot of food, and he would always cook for me and show me all these meals that you could have that were vegetarian but tasted so good. He made me tacos using a bean mix. He made me a Thai green curry with chickpeas and veggies and rice, and we just had like a whole range of meals that we could eat that he had been making himself over the 2 or 3 years that he'd been vegetarian, so he knew what to eat. Hanging out with him more, I always felt bad eating meat around him. I thought that was kind of disrespectful, because obviously he became vegetarian because he felt bad for eating animals, and I didn't want to sit there and just eat animals. Got to the point where I would hang out with him. I hung out with him a lot because he was literally my best friend. Got to the point where I was hanging out with him so much that I would pretty much not eat meat. Like, I'd probably have 1 or 2 meals a week, and I was like, I wasn't missing it at all. I was actually quite fine without eating meat. So so I was like, you know what, maybe I could be a vegetarian. I was on Facebook, and then something came up on Facebook. A girl was talking about a documentary called What the Health. It's basically a documentary that a vegan diet is the best way to be so that you don't die early, and it can reverse all these illnesses. I was just watching the documentary and what they had to say about animals and killing them and stuff, and I just felt, I don't know, just something in me went, I don't want to eat animals anymore. And then my friend came over and I said to him, I'm a vegetarian. Like, I don't know, I just said I want to be a vegetarian, and he's like, oh, that's really cool. Like, he was pretty happy about it. And then I said, yeah, and he said, when are you going to start? And I'm like, I'm not sure. Like, and then I kind of just thought in my head, if I don't do it now, like, I probably won't, because that documentary won't have the same effect on me in 2 days' time. Like, and I haven't eaten meat since. And that was about, as I said, 3 or 4 months ago. For me, the changes in my body that I noticed was when I would go for a run, it got to the point where I was running and I was fine, but then all of a sudden I couldn't find the energy, and I found it really hard to keep going. That only lasted probably up until 2 months. After 2 months, I think that's when my body was fully adjusted and was able to function without me. I think that was the only side effect I noticed. I'm taking B12 and iron supplements. Now I'm making like lentil bolognese, so it's like a spaghetti and it has a sauce with it, and it tastes like normal spaghetti bolognese. It's so good. It's like my favorite thing to make. I make tacos all the time, veggie patties. I've also been making black bean and vegetable quesadillas at home, so it's literally a wrap, and I put in a whole bunch of veggies, some rice, black beans, and a bit of cheese on top, and then you fold the wrap in half, put it in the toaster, press it down, and then take it out, cut it in half, and you've got a quesadilla, and it's so good. It's my new favorite food. That was my vegetarian experience. Oh, I also was going to say about craving meat. I'm not up to that stage yet where it's hard to explain. So if I didn't have the mindset that I had now, I'd still look at meat and go yum, right? So I can look at meat and be like, that would taste really good. I could do that right now. But then I wouldn't be able to actually go and eat meat because of how bad I would feel, if that makes sense. So I still remember the taste of meat and still remember how yum that would be. But I just wouldn't be able to eat it because of how I am now. That's what I wanted to mention. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm Jess, and I'll see you in my next video.